So let's begin with a single element, this home link here. So we're over here in our code, this is our footer, and let's add a link. This is an A tag. We'll add a dummy href, and we'll put home in there. Now again, even though these are all capitalized, we can capitalize with styling and use the casing that makes the most sense for the context here. So if we save this and refresh it in the browser, we'll see our link right here. Now of course, we'll need to style this a bit differently. We need to change the color, we need to remove the underline, and we need to uppercase it, as well as possibly change the font size. Now I'm not sure if it makes sense to apply the styles directly to the A tag, because it seems possible that later on we'll use links inside of the footer in different ways, and at that point we won't want to override the styles that we're setting here. We could add a class to this A tag, but then we'd have to add a class to every one of these A tags. So it's clear that we need some kind of surrounding element that we can apply a class to and say every A tag within this element is going to have this particular styling. So what element should we use there? Well, the article we were just looking at suggested that divs and spans could be used, and that seems fine, but let's do a quick search in Google to see if there's a better tag for it. So I'm going to do a search for HTML navigation, and sure enough, we have the HTML nav tag here. This is an example. So an opening nav tag, we might have some links in here, and then a closing nav tag. At the bottom, we can see its default styling. It's styled just like section tags, footer tags, and div tags, with just a display block. There's an explanation here as to what a navigation is and isn't, but it's pretty straightforward. Basically, a nav tag will surround any group of links that are related to one another in some way. In this case, the links will help us get around the site. In other cases, they might help us get around a page. Okay, so let's surround this A tag with a nav tag. And now we could use the nav around all of these links, but it seems like these are two separate navigations. And a common way to delineate between two navigation schemes in one area is to call one primary and one secondary. So let's create a class for this nav, and we'll plan on just including these 4 links in it. And we'll call it site_footer-primary nav. And so we'll use this class in order to create the styling for the links within it. So we'll go back to our site footer partial here, and we could add our selector right here, but why not use the ampersand and prevent having to duplicate the word site footer? So we'll copy just the ending part here, we'll add an ampersand at the beginning, and we'll add our styles in there. Now we can do the same thing with the copyright here. We probably should have done this before. So let's cut this, paste it in here, add the ampersand, and I'm also going to add a little bit more space between these different selectors here, and I'll remove the excess. Okay, so we're going to be styling the A tags inside of the primary nav. So I'm going to create a nested selector here. And now we've dealt with styling the different states of the A tag before. So let's find an example of that and copy it. So now I'm using PHP Storm as my editor, and I can press Command-Shift-F in order to search all of the files inside of this project for a particular phrase. So I'm going to search for :hover, because I think that's what we're looking for, something that includes that. And I'll maximize the screen so we have a little bit more space to look here. And this looks like what we want. So I'm going to open this up by double-clicking it, and I'll copy this whole bit, and I'll go back to our site footer and paste it in. And now we should be able to change the styling right here. So the color, in this case, is going to be white. Let's flip this over so we can see it in line with this. We're going to uppercase it. So again, that's text transform. We've done this before, uppercase. And now we need to remove this underline. We've used this property before. This is called text decoration, and we're going to say none because we don't want to add a line anywhere. Let's save this and refresh in the browser and see what we have. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's applying. Can you figure out why? I'll give you a second. All right, the problem is that we haven't specified that we're using the A selector here. So let's use A, and we'll nest with that. Save this and refresh the browser. All right, that's looking good.